Foremost, I would like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakakwadash, Shema Ma. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders. Double honors to my elder as well, Aharwan Ben Yasha'Allah of the Lions Den Camp. And salutations to the fellow Akim, Atwafium, and children that believe in truth and sincerity. It's your brother, I thank you Allah, back to another lesson. And Yahweh Tazah's edifying. We're going to get straight into it. All right, but it's going to be a clip of we're gonna play a couple minutes. We had two individuals, two so-called brothers that came up upon the camp this week. Not this week, but last week. From Priest Daniela. They said Lions of Israel, someone along that nature. But you go hear it in the clip that basically they had a issue in regards to the scriptures, and we'll get right into it.
What 2/3 are doing when they worship these holidays, when they into all these religions, they're preparing in Masonry, Christianity, claiming they know the Bible when they damn sure don't. Want to tell the truth, but they damn sure won't. Go ahead,
That forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that truth, and that furnish the drink offering.
See, they furnish the drink offering. You ain't gonna furnish no drink offering for a military. They need to stop teaching it that way. Furnishing the drink offering meaning what? Idol worship. All right, that's what our people are into. And the Lord said, that's dumb. 2/3 gonna perish in that. Go ahead.
They furnish a drink offering unto that number.
Right. Unto that number. See, that number is an idol. You see that troop and number, they were known as Meni and Gad. And both of those were known for prosperity, teaching, and destiny. All right, manifest destiny and the prosperity doctrine. They still on it today. All right, you can look it up yourself. Go to Google, type in Gad and Meni, M-E-N-I, or M-A-N-I.
Meni, and that's on the side.
It's on the side, right? All right. Let's finish this real quick.
Verse 12. Verse 12.
I think so, yeah. Let's go to all the way 17. Hold up. You had something you want to say?
Oh, no, I just wanted to say peace and shalom to y'all,
Yeah, shalom to you too, man.
Trying to teach y'all GMS.
Yeah, at the heart of our teaching with GMS, but we're called Lions Den.
Lions Den.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're doing our own thing though. You know?
We be out here.
Yeah. We're trying to move, but the Lord don't let us move yet.
I got you. Yeah, we just moved down here. We are with the Tabernacle of David under Lions of Israel under Priest Daniela. So we just moved down.
Oh, you talking about Ban Lawyer and Daniel Allah and them. Ban Lawyer used to be the head.
Right.
But since Daniel Allah had it, was going off.
Right. So, we just moved down here.
Yeah. No offense to you.
You good?
All right. I know you.
I don't mean to offend or challenge nobody's doctrine. So I just want to say, peace and shalom to everybody.
Definitely,
here.
man.
It's always good to see brothers teaching the word.
But we out here. Our purpose is to get our people delivered. Period. Period, man. So you come here, we're gonna try to teach you.
No sweat, man. We trying to teach the word too. But ain't no sense in us being in the same spot. So we just looking for spots as well right now. So
yeah,
it was good when we was down there looking. We seen y'all, brothers. So we just kind of
man.
Everybody, so.
Yeah, y'all teaching in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
Correct.
Y'all teaching about the MOTB being the market of junk.
You know about that, huh?
Y'all know about that. So it's like there's a few things probably we'll talk about, but that's neither here nor there.
Right, same here. So all praise to the Most
But
High.
I would love. Difference between me and you is I want to talk about it.
I mean, we can talk about it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can always talk about it. We can do that too.
I'm with it.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I'm with it. So whatever you think of, but I'll be like the dreadlocks.
Yeah, what about them?
Why you ain't cut them yet?
Why I'm supposed to cut them?
Huh?
Why I'm supposed to cut them?
You're not supposed to have long hair, bro.
Where's that at?
It's in the scriptures.
Let's read it.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14.
Right.
It says, does not even nature itself teach?
You can see he's just real. He's not shamefaced. He's real proud. You can't tell him nothing. He's real quick to say something. But the first scripture I want to get first, it shows that they're kind of unlearned. Well, they are unlearned because they would be more humble approaching camps if they was to approach a camp. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 5, and I'll start at verse 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. And and that's how you try the spirit by the spirit, and that's how we knew, all right, and our elder ultimately knew, and we ultimately know our elder was gonna pull him out his character right away because he's wet behind the ears. You can see, like he approaches the camp. He has the guy with him. It's just two individuals. He has the guy with him has the camera out as they approach us, and they listen for like 30 seconds, and it's like the spirit that was on him. It was like, yeah, you got a question. It led the elder to ask them, did they have a question? And you see where it led to. But hey, you would know the simple things of the law, respect and the order of camps, and keeping thy foot when you come into the house of the Lord. All right, you in the Lord's sanctuary. When two or more are gathered in His name, He's in the midst, and it's total carnality. And you're gonna see a little bit more. And it went all about the hair. He got pretty much emotional about, and that's why it's a shame for a man to have long hair, as the brother brought out immediately, because these are the scriptures that you ultimately find out and understand quickly coming into the truth, finding out the truth in the beginning, desiring the sincere milk. You're starting off with the laws, statutes, commandments of the law of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, of the Lord, and that's one of them, all the way in, to the long hair and dreadlocks being um, a heathen custom. All right. We are to have braids and plaits, and we go get into that. But this is Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 2. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. For Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few. So we have to let our words be few. All right, and let the spirit speak. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by multitude of words. When thou vowest a vow unto Yahweh, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Right? I just brought that last verse out just because the elder ultimately asked him, "Hey, are you a Nazarite? You took the vow of Nazarite." He kind of gave that impression as if he didn't know what it is. Usually when someone doesn't know anything, their response is real carnal, or they start to cursing, or using, not cursing, but using profanity, so to speak, because they lack the proper way to express themselves. But we'll listen a little more.
You that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him. But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her. For her hair is given her for a covering.
Right. So what does that mean?
So that means you ain't supposed to have hair down that long, man. That's
What
exactly
do it say?
So, when you ask a question, you ultimately asking a question because you don't know. Or else you asking a question to beg to differ, all right, to play devil's advocate, to play semantics, and that's what he's doing. All right, and again, you're doing that pertaining to a topic as far as having long hair, something that is simple, when it comes to the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, which many brothers have went through this course, entering into this work, all right, to the truth, where they have cut the dreadlocks, all right, because it's a heathen custom. It's more so the custom of those Elamites, Elam. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 14. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. Right? You can't be carnally minded and think you can wrap your head around what's spiritual, all right, what's spiritually being done, what's spiritually being said, what's spiritually being read. All right, it's ultimately going over his head. Verse 15, but he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judge of no man. Right? You got to be spiritual to understand this thing and to have a balance and a level head and an understanding towards, and ultimately you have to study, man. Study to show thyself approved. You know, desire the sincere milk of the word. Study to show thyself approved. You know, rightly dividing the word of truth. You know, it's something simple, but he's playing semantics as far as how long. You know, how many cubits should they be? You know, basically, if it's down your back and you have to twist and turn and act like a female, that's effeminate. It puts an effeminate spirit upon men when they have long hair, like a woman. All right, but you have the Nazarite vow to where they grew their hair. All right, but they also didn't take of the vineyard, intake of the vineyard, like wine, grapes, raisins, and so on and so forth. All right, but we're gonna listen a little more.
I'm not supposed to have hair down that long.
The scripture says
It don't say that I'm not supposed to have hair down
it's,
that
it's a
long.
shame. You know what shame is?
Yeah, I know
It's
what a
not
shame,
good.
but what was the context of it? Can you read up
It's a
the
shame.
word?
All right, let's go. Let's use a little history.
What's the context of it? Yeah, it's a shame, but what's the context of it? It's a shame. The context of it was having long hair. What was a shame? Having long hair. So that was the context of it. So again, it's semantics being played. You know, Jake always want to pick and choose what they want to do. You know, how they want to serve the Lord. You know, but they don't have the choice. You know, you have to come into this sheepfold correctly, or you're not upright. All right, you're it's the book of St. John, chapter 10, and verse 1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. Right? You can't just, you saw those men on YouTube, or you know, we got our elder high priest Daniela, yeah, he, you know, and you walking out with your chest out. You know, hey, your elder, he might know his shit, or he might not, because of what you being taught. You know, you're not having the proper understanding that dreads is unlawful. All right, when you go into that term, malaka, wow. Well, we're gonna get into it. All right, in the book, in the Judges, I believe. But when you know, obviously, what the doctrine you're being taught is like a damnable hearsay. All right, it's hypocrisy. All right, to teach. You know, you can't go into Corinthians and go into having the long hair and read that and teach nobody that, claiming to be a man of the Lord, and your dreadlocks are dreadful all the way down to the floor, and you don't think nothing's wrong with it, and you're not you haven't taken a vow of the Nazarite. Neither would your dreadlocks be in that form. Neither would the locks be in that form. That is Salakia. All right. It wouldn't be dreadful at all, right? Because again, that's a heathen custom. It's not of Israel customs.
Reason why Paul wrote that letter to the church of Corinth in that area, because you had a lot of men that were walking around with long hair like that.
You have to show me that.
So that's why the reader,
You have to prove that.
writing that, he just read it.
No, I'm saying you have to prove what you just said. You said the reason why Paul
When
wrote
Paul
that letter
wrote those
to
epistles,
Corinth,
he was putting everybody in check.
I mean,
correct?
So this is what I'm trying to see. Are y'all trying to have a discussion, or y'all want to just tell me what y'all believe?
I just well, the thing is, you came up already combative. We already know.
So yeah, you pretty much seen, you know, how those two individuals, all right, those two so-called brothers came up to the camp, you know, caused a lot of confusion, all right, which was a good edifying lesson, all right, until they came, and then we had to go more so into a rebuke, as they went down and set up camp right next to us. As the scriptures speak on, not setting up on another man's foundation. And again, just strife and contention that they brought, and not keeping a foot in the house of the Lord. So what I want to start off with is the book of Judges, ultimately starting off with when it comes to the dreadlocks topic and how they're unclean. They're not of our customs. All right. How locks ultimately just mean to plait. All right. Hand over hand, where it can be undone if needed. Ultimately to be clean. But Judges 16 and verse 19. And this is speaking on Delilah, which I believe she was a Philistine woman who Samson, he liked the Hamite woman, but he was pillow talking with Delilah, and Delilah knew that Samson and his hair was his strength because Samson had took the vow of a Nazarite. So cut his locks. She caused him to cut his locks. All right, there's 7 locks in his head. And that's, where you have the story of Samson, the so-called Black Hercules. This is the book of Judges, chapter 16 and verse 19. And she made him sleep upon her knees, and she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. And she said, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awoke out of his sleep. Right, that's why they say we can't have, you got to be on your Clark Kent. Sometimes you can't tell your left hand what your right hand is doing. All right, but basically she set him up. And here in verse 20, and she said, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awoke out of his sleep and said, I will go out as at other times before and shake myself. And he wist not that the Lord was departed from him. You see? All right, but ultimately there in the point in verse 19 of how she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. All right, and you go there in the book of Judges, chapter 16 and verse 19, and we go get the etymology right quick. Of locks. And again, what person has seven dreadlocks, I mean, other than modern day today, you have, well, ain't nothing new under the sun. So again, you have those Elamite customs, those Hamites as well. They put that clay and dirt and mud upon their head to get it dirty and make their dreadlocks the way it looked, how theirs look. And then you have the Elam, all right, Haile Selassie, these Rastafarians and the Jamaicans and those who claim to be Rastafaris, so-called Jamaicans. All right, and those who claim to be Rastafaris who are mat their hair together, so to speak, where they'll have dreads, they'll let it get dirty and let it lock up. All right, they'll let a plait and braid lock up and let it, put that wax on it and let it get dirty and lock up. To take more of them together and lock those up to make them even more dirty and pound more, So again, the head doesn't get no proper airflow. All right, no wind. Like today in Florida, they wear those dreads like that. Goku looking dreads and stuff. So again, there's no circulation going through there, unclean. And it probably whole smells. You gotta wash, and washing is Israelite custom. All right, you gotta understand that we taught Esau how to be civilized and how to bathe and stuff like that. So we go into the term locks here in Judges. H4253.
Strong's H4253. Machlafoth. Machlafoth.
Maclafourth. Maclafourth. Right. Braid, lock, plait. Right. So it's a braid, a plait. That's what a lock is, a braid or a plait. You know, it doesn't really tell you to get it dirty, and that's the extra. That's the adding on to the word. You know, as it speaks on in Revelations 22, adding on and taking away from the word. You should not do. All right, it's just a braid and plait is a lock. It's simple. It's all one and the same, as you see here in H4253. You know, so it don't say, "Hey, get it dirty. Don't wash it until it lock up." You know, it don't say step 2. So again, the vow of a Nazarite was Samson was under that vow of a Nazarite. You know, so again, the elder asks him, "What you a Nazarite? Are you uh, practicing the vow of a Nazarite, so to speak?" You know, he was just combative, man. He just wanted to say something and bark back because he really probably didn't really even know what it is. You know, he's just a upstart. You know, just camp banging, wanting to go around and stick his chest out. They got the shirt with the fringes on it. You know, again, the pride. It's 2 of them, and it's about like 15, 16 of us, and it's just the pride of 2 people walking up on, you know, a whole bunch of men in that manner. And just going back to the dreadlocks, you know, how they unclean, looking like Medusa, and a whole bunch of snakes and serpents on your head and stuff. You know, then Jake throwing the blonde in it today, which, you know, that's unclean. You know, that blonde hair, that's a plague unto you. You know, the priest will put you away for that pertaining to the law. So again, they'll be the main people that in the main camps, like these Israelite, these false Israelite groups, like the IUICs and the ISUPKs and the GOCCs that go out and about, and the Sakaris that start their own thing and teach a wayward doctrine. But this is Numbers 6 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite to separate themselves unto the Lord, he shall separate himself from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vineyard of wine or vineyard of strong drink. Neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dry. Right. So, I believe that in the elder's lesson, he was like, "Oh, you can't drink the wine. You know, it's right here in the law. You can't drink wine. You can't drink anything of the vineyard or strong drink or liquor, grapes. You can't eat moist grapes or dry. So you can't deal with raisins. You know, so you got to be careful what you consume as a vow of a Nazarite. You know, because you ultimately trying to you're separating yourself. You know, you're putting yourself to be separate and holy from the rest. All right. Yahweh Shai is separate and holy from the rest. He said he's not gonna drink of the vineyard until he drink with us. You know. So you can't drink wine, eating of the grapes, raisins. So any Rastafarian, you know, they're going completely off if they consume that, you know, and thinking they're keeping a vow. You're right, they're keeping a vow of a Nazarite and all that. You know, they can't attend funerals. That's in the 3rd verse. He shall separate himself from wine. No, that's in the 4th verse, Salakia. It's verse 4. All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree, from the kernels, even of the husk, Salakia, not the fourth verse. But here in the fourth verse it says, all the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree, from the kernels even to the husk. All the days of the vow of his separation there shall no razor come upon his head, until the days be fulfilled in which he separated himself unto the Lord. He shall be holy, and shall let the locks of his head grow. Right, he shall let it grow. All right. All the days that when he's under that vow, all the days that he separated himself unto the Lord, he shall come at no dead body. So you can't attend funerals. You can't come at no dead body. All right. He shall not make himself unclean for his father, or for his mother, for his brother, or for his sister when they die, because the consecration of his power is upon his head. All the days of his separation he is holy unto the Lord. And if any man die very suddenly by him, and he have defiled the head of his consecration, then he shall shave his right. Dang, it's a law even for that, because even like that's my thought of it reading it. It's like what would happen if somebody died right in front of them, and it's like suddenly. That's the spirit made that happen. This how you know it. Nothing is done on purpose. Everything is done under the guides of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, man, the holy angels. Because if somebody died in front of you suddenly and you had the vow of a Nazarite, the Lord know that. So if that was to happen, he wanted that separation to happen for you to go through that process. So this is verse 9. And maybe this is, that the brother can see, that you have to cut those off and deny yourself and come to the Lord humbly, with a contrite spirit, meek and lowly, and repent. And this is back in Numbers chapter 6, verse 9. And if any man die very suddenly by him, and he have defiled the head of his consecration, then he shall shave his head in the day of his cleansing. On the 7th day shall he shave it. And on the 8th day shall bring 2 turtles and 2 young pigeons to the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And you got to make a sacrifice. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, and make an atonement for him, for that he sinned by the dead, and shall hallow his head that same day. So basically, it's like it's an order, and it's just things that the Lord set up, and one of them is cutting your hair. All right, and if you taking a vow of a Nazarite, it's a strict order within that. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 14. Doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? But if a woman have long hair, it is her glory for her hair is given her for a covering. Right, so if her hair could cover her, you shouldn't have hair long enough to cover you. So figure the length out, so to speak, right? Like play semantics. If the woman should have long hair, we shouldn't have long hair at all. Just be the point. You feel me? It's just what it is. Not feel me, but what the scriptures say. That's what you gotta understand. Ultimately, you gotta catch that. It's not of what we interpret; it's what the scriptures say. But again, the carnal man can't receive the spiritual things. The natural man can't receive the spiritual things. This is Leviticus chapter 15. Verse 31. Thus shall ye separate the children of Israel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness, when they defile my tabernacle that is among them. But Jake still want to be unclean, You know, they want to keep their long hair more than the Lord. You know, they love their long hair more than the Lord. Salakia. This is Luke 9:22. And he said to them all, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it, right? The same shall save it. You know, so cut them off. You know, what it hurt to cut those off, to save yourself, to save your soul, you know, to show some gratitude towards Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai to this work of ours, right? You know, but Jake don't want to deny himself. Again, they love their dreads more than they love the Lord, to where they're gonna come into the house of the Lord and argue about it, where prophecy is kicking off. You know, the dollar is collapsing right before our eyes. Banks running off, doing bank runs and running off with people money, closing shop. You know, and again, locks is dreadlocks is a heathen custom, man, to be dreadful. You know, and to grow it like that, and you know, it's unlawful. And we brought out the term H4253 going into braid plait, and how it's the same as lock. All right, meaning to hand over hand, where it can be undone as well. I mean, which is the plait. All right, dreadlocks was a heathen custom made, you know, by these this Elamite, you know, this Rastafarianism, all right, and this Hinduism, really, got the people, they draw these people into Hinduism, worshiping Hinduism, with that lifestyle of Rastafarianism, through this guy Haile Selassie, who the elder had mentioned in a video a while back, had bowed down to the queen. And here's a picture of him and the queen, all right, which shows you that this is, he's one of those individuals that didn't deny himself, all right. He even self-proclaimed himself to be, what is it, Solomon or David, all right, one of the two, but he self-proclaimed himself to be Solomon, I believe. But he bowed to the Queen of England, and called himself the conquering lion when Yahweh Shai is the conquering lion, which that's a blasphemy right there, So again, no one else is the comforter, no one else is the conquering lion other than Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And that's when Jake gets wrong, to where they stick their chests out and they want to be the one, and these other camps have that spirit, just like these two individuals, to where they'll deny John the Baptist, or they'll deny Paul writings. And here you got these two here again, don't understand Paul writings, just like Sakari, not really believing and understanding in Paul writings. So it's just, again, just the confusion, the camp banging. Then he mentioned, y'all elder in South Carolina, and it's like, yeah, that's, we are Jim, we by heart, we're the Lions Den, that's not our elder, definitely, right? Our elder is R1 of the Lions Den camp, but that's what they see, and that's what they think is supposed to go down. Hey, he came up against this camp, we go come up against their camp. It's like the whole back and forth thing, when they didn't have no knowledge at all, and they quickly found out that what they were dealing with. They were dealing with the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, and they wasn't really equipped. They turned carnal and started teaching off to the side, to where police had to come, and they ended up teaching for about 10 minutes and left. But Shalom. Yahweh Ratazah, this lesson was edifying. Habatah and DTA until the next one.